What's up guys, TopTierYugioh here, and today I want to talk about the top 5 changes that I'd like to see to the Forbidden Limited list coming up soon. And so it's 2017 now, new year, new list, and we have some problems that need to be addressed. And so I think the major problem right now is honestly Zodiacs. Zodiacs are coming out soon and they're tier 0 in the OCG, so we need to address that before it becomes tier 0 here in the TCG. Next, I would like to deal with a lot of the degeneracy in the meta. I think there are way too many cards that if you just draw, you just win. Cards, well, I'm not gonna get into what cards exactly. I don't want to give too many spoilers, but there's a lot of unfair things that happen in today's game that I think need to be addressed. And then finally, I really like Yu-Gi-Oh's long-standing legacy format policy. I love that we have such a huge card pool. We're allowed to play any card that has ever been released that isn't on the Forbidden Limited list. And so with that, I would like to take cards off of the Forbidden Limited list just to allow players to play more decks that I think a lot of us enjoy, so that we can play just more fun decks, and I think that leads to more creativity and more innovation. So number 5, bringing back old decks that are currently unplayable. And so I'd like to see Inzektor Dragonfly to 3 for Inzektors, Dragon Rulers back to 1, Shurit back to 1, and Construct to 1. Not all of them. I mean, all would be nice, but I would take even one of them. If any one of those things happen, then I would be very happy. Because once again, I think when we're allowed to play more decks, it allows for a lot more creativity, it allows for more innovation, it allows us to kind of come up with more crazy fun decks. Like, none of those decks would be extremely meta right now if they came back. None of those would be game breaking. So for example, Construct in today's game wouldn't be that broken, because back then there weren't as many quick effects. Like if you think about Burning Abyss couldn't deal with Construct because you could just attack over everything. They didn't have Farfa yet, or they didn't have Beatrice yet, I should say. Construct can't get over an Alcahest, it'll trigger a Mithrilium. Or if you look at Construct versus Zodiacs, they'll just destroy it. Or they have Viper that just banish the Construct, so it doesn't really do much. And even versus Eidolon, once again, they just have the light Eidolon, I can't remember the name right now, but that would just banish the Construct. And so again, Construct wouldn't be that broken right now. And same with Shurit. Shurit wouldn't be that broken in Necros. Because back then when Necros was big, we didn't have Barrier, we didn't have Strike, we didn't have Alcast. Well, Trishula, being able to summon Trishula easier without an Alcast. Actually, yeah, Necros would have a pretty good Metalfoil matchup in my opinion, but they wouldn't have a good ABC matchup. Like, I just can't see Necros being that good in today's meta, even, maybe not at full power, but even with Shirt the 1. Same with D-Rulers. I think D-Rulers would be great in today's meta. Rank 7s aren't that good, and I think each individual Dragon Ruler adds a little bit more to other decks of certain archetypes, or certain types, or attributes I should say. So like Tidal and Mermail would be pretty good, or Tempest and Dragoonity, for example. And so, let's move on to the next one. Number 4, I think ABCs need to be hit just a little bit, not a lot, but normally whatever the best deck is, it's got to be brought down a notch. And ABC being the best deck, they need to get a little tiny baby hit. So I think Union Hanger deserves a semi-limit. And so when looking at ABCs, what could you hit? You can't really hit any of the back row. And then next, you don't want to hit Tsukiyomi because they only need 1. You don't want to hit Buster Dragon because they can beat you without Buster Dragon. And Union Hanger is the card that just seems to lead to all of the problems. Now you don't want to limit it because I think that hurts the deck way too much. But I think a semi-limit would be pretty justified. Like, it doesn't hurt the consistency that much. They still have pretty much 5 of them in the deck with Terraforming. But it just hurts it just enough so that they're not as consistent. And at the same time, you don't want to hit Terraforming because that hurts other decks. And personally, me playing Sub-Terrors, like, I need Terraforming at 3 for as long as I can. So next at number 3, I would like to see Vanity's Emptiness banned. So I think this is something that we can all agree with, but Vanity's Emptiness is just unfair. It's an unfair card that doesn't let you play. And there are a lot of cards that don't let you play, but this cutting off a whole mechanic of the game like special summoning. And special summoning is really the major difference in today's game now. And so for them to have a card that just stops that, I think it really hurts every single deck. So whenever you draw it, you'd win. So like if you look at the game 5 years ago and look at the game now, the biggest difference is special summoning. The ability to special summon more often. We have Pendulum Summoning, which is a special summon, and pretty much every deck has multiple summons per turn. And that's something that when you can stop, you just win. Versus a card like Anti-Spell, which a lot of other players think should be banned. But Anti-Spell, in my opinion, isn't on that same level as Vanity's Emptiness. Because Anti-Spell doesn't stop you from playing spell cards, you just can't play as many. And the only thing that Anti-Spell actually stops is Pendulums. But not every deck is a Pendulum deck. But every single deck special summons. And if you're not special summoning, then you're losing anyways. So that's why I think Vanity's Emptiness needs to be banned. And now for number 4, I think MX Saber Invoker also needs to be banned. And now it sucks to ban a card that people don't even play right now. But the problem is Zodiacs, to be honest. And I think either this can be banned or Tinky can be limited. But the difference is that Invoker, people only play one of, and people only play Invoker to special summon your Momorat. And now another thing that you could ban in its place would be Terra Top or to limit Terra Top. But I think that hurts too many other decks. Like that hurts Burning Abyss, that hurts Speedroids, that hurts any other deck that uses the Speedroid engine. Versus just hurting Invoker only hurts decks that are pretty much trying to summon Momorat. And I think the other option would be to limit Tinky, because Tinky is very similar to Rhoda, and if Rhoda is limited, I think Tinky should be limited. But Tinky is another one card Momorat. The only difference is you have to normal summon it. And so inherently being able to one card special summon your Momorat is better than being able to one card normal summon it. And so that's why Invoker is a little bit higher on the list in my opinion. But there's going to be a poll in the top right corner of the screen. Which one do you think would be more worth doing? Limiting Tinky or banning MX Saber Invoker? Which do you think would be a better preemptive hit to Zodiacs, because they need to be hit before they come out? Because nobody wants to deal with a tier 0 format. No one wants an emergency ban list after you buy all your Zodiac stuff. But we want to be upfront and transparent with the ban list, and so something needs to happen preemptively so that we know what to do. So the number one change that I would like to see the Forbidden Limited list is, let me get a drum roll, Elder Entity Norden, you gots to go. I need Norden banned. And so the biggest reason I need Norden banned is that it allows for way too much degeneracy, and it would help Zodiacs a little bit too much. So it's a slight hit to Zodiacs, and it stops unfair things from happening. And so from looking at what Norden does now, Norden allows decks that shouldn't be able to summon Toad to summon Toad. So if you look at heroes, like, okay, they can maybe summon Bahamut Shark once every couple of games because you do play the Bubble Man. But Instant Fusion allows them to summon it multiple games, and it allows them to even make multiple Bahamut Sharks and multiple Totally Awesomes, which is completely unfair. It isn't something that they should be able to do, and it has the boards like Dark Law, Rafflesia, and so a deck that already does sort of unfair things, it lets them do even more unfair things. Or if you look at Mermail, sure, Mermail can make Bahamut Toad, but Norden allows them to make double Bahamut Toad, and even though they can do it themselves, Norden makes it that much more consistent that really makes that deck a lot more unfair. And so there are just way too many times where you can just have a bad hand and just draw Instant Fusion, summon your Norden, and go into a free monster, a free Bahamut Shark, free Toad. And it's just, I think, a little bit too unfair for today's meta. And then looking towards the future, even in Zodiacs, they never had Zodiacs plus Instant Fusion and Norden. They never had those three cards unlimited at the same time. And so what it'll do in Zodiacs is they'll be able to go through their plays, and then they'll be able to use Instant Fusion to make another rank 4, whether that be a Bullhorn to search something else and continue their Zodiac plays, or they could use a Daigusto Emerald to shuffle things back and then go into a different Xyz. And then within a deck that already plays Emerald, they'd be allowed to shuffle back their Nordens and then keep doing it all over again. So even though Norden's at 1 right now, I think that's one copy too many, and so it has to be banned. It just does way too many things, and there's a reason the OCG banned it. It should not be played. And so just to go back over the top 5 one more time. So number 5, I want to bring back some of the old cards like Dragonfly to 3, Dragon Rulers to 1, Shuret to 1, Construct to 1. Number 4, Union Hanger Semi-Limited. Number 3, Vanity's Emptiness banned. Number 4, either MX Saber Invoker banned or Tinky limited. And number 5, Norden banned. And so let me know in the comment section some of the things you would like to see changed on the next list whenever we do get that list. The biggest change that I would like to see regarding the ban list would be to have dates again, but I'm assuming we're never going to get dates on the ban list again, so these are the next 5 things that I'd like to see. So let me know some of the things that you would like to see changed on the ban list down in the comments section, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye. Those cerulean tides, Sapphire, Sapphire.